What if we told you there was a way to get rich very quickly and in a big way? What if we told you that almost all self-made millionaires and billionaires have used this exact strategy to build their wealth, and there's nothing stopping you from doing the same? No, this has nothing to do with the law of attraction or marrying a rich person. We know you're smarter than that. So let's dive into it. Asymmetric risks or opportunities are ones where the rewards are bigger than the costs, but the chances of success are still good. If you put $5,000 into Amazon stock when it was only $5 per share in 2001 and held on to it until today, you would have a lot more money. If you put $1,000 into Bitcoin 5 years ago, you would have $3.2 million now. If you put $1,000 into Bitcoin today, you would have well over $100,000. In the investment world, these are examples of asymmetric risk. But you can find this kind of risk to reward ratio in all parts of your life. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear list of these opportunities that we've found for you. Basically, the goal is to find situations where you can lose a little but win a lot if things go your way. If you saw our video from last week, you know that most people will never be rich. One of the main reasons for this is that most people don't understand the idea of asymmetry. They're used to small wins and big changes that don't happen very often. A good example of this is someone who works a job and gets a small salary every month until the market changes and they lose their job. In a society and economy like this, the only way to do well is to take risks. You can't get rid of the risk. So instead of killing you, use it to make a lot of money. This is one reason why we put money into new technology companies. Statistically, 6 out of 10 projects we invest in will fail, 3 will do okay, and 1 will do well enough to pay for all 10. Another example of asymmetric risk is when you start a business or join a business where you have shares but can only lose your time and whatever you consider to be the opportunity risk. But if the company does well, it could change people's lives. We've used this idea of being different in everything we've done. This video right here is an example of an asymmetric bet. We've spent some time and money to make something that will last forever. As long as people keep using it and finding it valuable, we'll get a return on any kind of content, whether it's a book, a podcast, a video, a tweet with an idea, or a post on social media. All of these have the potential to reach millions of people, and the benefits outside of digital likes are huge. This works like a dream. If you use it for digital products instead of a book, like an e-book, your only cost to make it is the time you spend writing it. You only have to make a digital course once, and then you can sell it as many times as people are willing to buy it. There are unequal chances all around you and in every part of your life. People take this risk when they move to big cities. If you move to a big city, you can meet people and take advantage of opportunities you can't find in your small town. The same is true for traveling around the world. The biggest risk is that if you do all of this when you're young and nothing works out, you still have time to make it back. Going on as many first dates as possible lets you meet different kinds of people and figure out what kind of partner you're actually looking for. The problem is that sometimes it just doesn't work out, and you have to move on to the next date. But the upside is that you might meet the person you'll spend most of your remaining days with. Going on dates or to parties doesn't cost much in the long run, but you never know who you'll meet, or how they'll affect you. We do the same thing when we read books. A book costs $15 and takes a few hours of your time. Not every book we read will change our lives, but every once in a while, a really good one will come along that helps us grow quickly by putting together some key pieces of information. We do the same thing when we buy courses or go to business events. The price is worth it because if you wait long enough, your investment will pay off 100 times over. If you try to find them, There are many opportunities that are unequal. You're here because money is important to you. So, here's why we think crypto is the biggest asymmetric opportunity we've found so far. At the time we wrote this script, the price of one Bitcoin was around $42,000. We think that in the next 5 years, one Bitcoin will be worth at least $250,000. From an investment point of view, if we buy one Bitcoin, we can lose no more than $42,000. But if this works out, we'll get back at least 5 times what we put in today. This is the same reason we're putting so much money on Ethereum, betting that it will overtake Bitcoin in terms of market cap, and why we've put money into TAOs and other crypto projects at an early stage many times. In a recent interview, Raoul Pal said it best: "I think if you work on the assumption that the space is going to go up 100 times in 10 years, let's say 10, 15, or whatever the number is, then it almost doesn't matter what price you pay now." Traditional finance is having a hard time in the current environment. Investing in stocks or real estate barely keeps up with inflation, and automation and disruptive technologies are just around the corner to eat up more and more of the slow and steady returns. Traditional investors were used to all of this, which makes smart investors look for asymmetric opportunities. The math behind the strategy is easy to understand. A purchase can only lose 100% of its value. It could go in any direction. As long as you have a way to make money on your own. It's only a matter of time before one of your investments makes you a lot of money. If you can make it through, it doesn't matter if you lose 6 or 7 times if the 8th one takes care of you for the rest of your life. It doesn't matter if 7 books are bad or 7 dates don't work out if the 8th one really is a home run. You have to get rid of your emotional fear so you can try things. People don't work at the same job for 40 years and then retire like they did when they were young. You have to adjust to the world we live in or you'll be swept away by the coming flood. Next Sunday, we'll talk about how to survive and thrive in this new world that's being made. It's going to be a great talk. So make sure you are following the channel. We want you to take some time this week to think about how your life has given you asymmetric opportunities. Tell us in the comments, because your thoughts might help someone else in our community. And yes, there is a bonus for those of you who are still watching. Taking full advantage of asymmetric opportunities means waiting. You need a way to make money. You need to know that money is coming in no matter what. This could be through your own ability to turn your knowledge, skills, and time into cash. Ideally, at this point in your life, you don't have that many dependencies and don't need that much to keep living the way you are. So make it a priority to consistently invest in asymmetric opportunities, whether that's through dollar cost averaging into crypto projects, writing one blog post or page per day, or hitting the publish button on your podcast or YouTube channel. Plant your seeds and water them regularly. It won't be long before one of these chances pays off well enough for you to give it your full attention. You just don't know when it will happen. So the best thing to do is just keep working. You can reduce risk and investment through education, and as long as that income machine keeps sending you checks, you'll be able to plan your next steps. So figure out how to make more money than you need to live and put the rest of it into investments on a regular basis.